commitment.
Jerry Jones told Jarrett Bell, he said, I don't want to demean or undermine their credibility. Well, you failed. Just like in building this football team, Jerry, you failed.
But I do things I don't want to do all the time.
I don't want to demean or undermine their credibility, but we were kind of set up for taking me to the woodshed, and I wasn't ready for that. I was going to talk about the very things they wanted to talk about, but I didn't want it before a tribunal. They're not the ones. Now, the guys that are listening, my ticket holders and fans, they are the ones.
Yeah, they're not. Trust me, they're not the ones that you want to hear from. I don't think he wants that smoke.
No,
he does not. You want to do a call segment when he calls in next week?
Sure.
Okay.
Open it up.
Yeah, all right.
If we have enough dump. We can start with Peyton. Peyton can throw out the first question with some of the stuff he said.
Oh, I got a few.
So what you would need, because what happens is that there's you can say things on social media and you can say things on text, but when you're talking to someone, it's different, right?
For sure.
Your the defense mode, everything goes higher. It only takes one person to be the guinea pig, to be the first one to set it off, and then everybody else will just, okay, well, he's still alive,
pile on,
right? He didn't die. Let's just pile on, and it would be a disaster for him. He doesn't want that.
We've talked a ton about this. Not the Jarrett Bell thing, but we've talked a ton about the Jerry interview and the fallout and everything else. I'm curious, what's your take been sitting in the afternoon, Eric, and what has the GNAG Nation thought about all
What's
this?
your take, Ben, in safe territory?
And how would you have played sitting
Not
there?
having your job threatened. How's that feel?
I would hope that I would played it as well as you guys did.
By the way, just really quickly, I know everybody keeps saying having your job threatened. To me, it's the most empty threat of all. He's not doing anything to my job. And
but it's still funny to say.
I know.
I'm leaning into that.
I know. He just for clarity for anybody who listens, since now we get people listening and writing articles for the next week. He didn't hire me. He can't fire me. So that's just where it's at.
And that's what's so weird about it. He's likening you guys to Sham and Hansen. So he's trying to tie those two things together of like, I could boot these guys out in a split second if I want to.
Yeah.
And he's treating it like it's DallasCowboys.com. He's also treating he called it a woodshed. Like you guys were just tearing them up the whole time.
We're a tribunal and we're yahoos, which I do think that needs to be the new name of the show. Because we do have Bobby. It can't be Sean, RJ, and Bobby. That's just too many names. I just think we should be called the Yahoos.
The morning Yahoos?
The Yahoos over the tribunals?
I think Yahoos stands out.
I don't even know. He keeps saying tribunal, and I'm like, well, I don't even – I haven't done the research on the definition of that. I'm like, I don't even know what he really means
Survivor,
by
right?
it.
The tribe has spoken. That's what it is.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I have no idea.
But it's so random.
A tribunal is like a judgment seat.
This is such against the grain from what he's always been, and I feel like you guys have had segments with him where you've asked him more difficult questions. He's just very sensitive to the status of his football team right now and the decisions that he's made since the offseason, and it has been a bit of a buildup. This was a loud offseason of criticism.
Yeah.
And he has not – and he was indignant on the fact that we were wrong in real time. And now he can't fathom the idea that, oh, wow, this entire offseason that I've been selling something, and now we are just over a month into it, and it's already bottoming out on him. And he's taking simple questions, calm questions. You guys handled it fantastic. I don't know that I feel confident that I would have handled it any better. I would have wanted to kind of bark back a little bit. He's talking over you guys and like asking you questions. What's your point? What's your point? What's your point? And then cut you off.
What's your damn point?
Cut you off when you're trying to give him the point. So I thought y'all handled it extremely well. And I think there's just clearly underlying issues that he came into the interview with.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so when somebody calls you out on something, or somebody says something to you, right? They come at you. If it's not true, you generally don't get offended. You're like, when somebody like kind of makes it, even if they joke at you, if it's not true,
unless it's you talking about the SEC,
fair. But like they don't get offended if it's not true because he doesn't. But when it is true,
it hurts a lot
more. And he knew it was true. He knew what we were saying and what the fans are saying and what the whole narrative is about the team. He knows it's real, and that hurt more because at the end of the day, it is his fault. And he should get the credit when they win and the blame when they lose. And that's just the way it is. He puts himself in that position. Not the coach, not the players, it's him.
Here's the thing is that he has said routinely the buck stops with him. So the buck stops with you when you lose by 25 to New Orleans. and the buck stops with you when you lose by 38 to Detroit at home. And not just that, when someone that you respect comes into town on your birthday and says, I am going to do everything in my power to get an offensive lineman a touchdown on a trick play in this game. That's gonna check your ego a little bit. And then when you're standing there post game and you're getting grilled, you're not gonna like that. And then when you're heading to the airport, already having to talk on the phone, heading to the airport, hear the same questions before hopping on that plane and landing in Atlanta to get the side eye from 31 other owners of like, whew, that was pretty embarrassing for you on Sunday, wasn't it? I understand the context in which he got angry. That doesn't change the opinion. That doesn't change the fact at all that he was wrong. He's wrong to get upset or offended or feel like it's not anybody's place to ask him for, hey, this is proper context here. What you did this offseason is proper context to the S show we're seeing right now. And make no mistake, you can tell me 3-3 and anything else you want. It is an S show. This is an awful football team. This is a team that is worse right now than that 2010 team was 6 games into the season. I don't give a damn that you're 3-3. You're a bad football
team. Is worse than that one?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. If you look at the way they played, they were worse. All of their margins were worse.
Okay, that's fair.
And
they're getting blown out.
They were getting blown out. They weren't in 2010 to that point. Dallas, I think, was actually on the positive side of like yards gained versus yards allowed by 200 or so. They were playing okay through those first 6 weeks, and then they quit. They crumbled and they quit. This is
the moment the quarterback goes down, you're going to probably quit.
Here's what
that sucks about this team is because your quarterback hasn't gone down. He's upright. He's standing
gone down
healthy.
In talent.
And
he's gone down in talent.
The team is still extremely bad.
Here's what Jerry and Mike McCarthy and everybody else need to accept. You got one of two answers here. Either your team has quit, in which case you need to blow people out right now, or your team is really bad, and I need to stop hearing about we have the right guys. You don't. You're bad. You are a bad football team, and you built a bad football team. And I'm sorry that that's uncomfortable, and I'm sorry that hurts, but when you tell me the buck stops with you, that means consequences also stop with you. And there's no real consequences if you're the guy hiring and firing people, and it's you. So the consequences of that then are you have to take every bit of criticism and every bit of uncomfortable question, and those weren't even uncomfortable questions.
I know.
They weren't.
Nope.
For a guy with the thickest skin and the broadest shoulders of anybody I've ever seen with a public profile, it's sad to watch him flounder like this week.
Never takes it that harsh. Ever. Mm-mm. There's not never. And that's
why it's so surprising so weird. And now I cannot wait for Tuesday morning at 8:30. That's going to be appointment listening. Going to be fantastic. But, yes, he triples down now with the USA Today. That was, as the context from Bobby there, that was comments from Tuesday, but the story comes out yesterday. And now I wonder what his current status is of how he's actually feeling, because clearly Tuesday he was fired up, letting you guys have it, not simmering down on the flight to Atlanta, ripping in with Diana Rossini, and then there's Jarrett Bell, who wants to hear from me about this because I'm ready to let it fly. He was ticked.
I can I can extend grace to the point of it's the context says clearly you're going to be uncomfortable and upset and mad and everything like that. And I know we got to get to a break, and that's fine. I can accept that, and I don't need an apology or anything else. But what I am saying is that if that were to continue, we have an issue. And I don't mean just an issue between us, take us out of it. I'm saying we have an issue of his ability to handle the heat that comes with the job if this extends into next week.